building well involved at 65 South Front at Union. Pumper 5, Pumper 9, Pumper 2, Pumper 1, Truck 5, Truck 2, Squad 2, Battalion 1 respond. Report of fire coming through the roof, the building well involved at 65 South Front at Union. Pumper 5, Pumper 9, Pumper 2, Pumper 1, Truck 5, Truck 2, Squad 2, Battalion 1 respond.
Hello, I'm Inspector Bob Dennington with the Memphis Fire Department, and welcome to Fire Call. Today, I have with my guest Captain Dennis Rutledge with the Collierville Fire Department. Glad to have you with us today, Dennis.
Well, appreciate that, Bob.
Yeah, I understand you have a real good active fire prevention program out in Collierville.
Well, I like to think that we do. In 1984, we received a federal grant to conduct public fire education. We were one of only 30 cities in the country to do so, and only one of 3 cities in the state of Tennessee to receive the grant. And through the grant, we realized a great deal of accomplishments. One of the major things that they wanted through the grant program was to involve a community group in public fire education, because public fire education and the fire problem isn't just a fire department problem. It involves the entire community and affects the entire community, as I know that you are well aware. But we looked at it a little bit differently in Collierville. We felt we could get more for our money by, instead of involving one community group in one program, we just developed 18 different projects. And in those projects, we were able to involve 14 different community groups there in the town of Collierville. And it was amazing, some of the things that we were able to accomplish through it.
How did you go about getting this grant? You out of only a few cities, you had 36?
30 cities in the entire country.
How did Collierville receive this grant, do you think?
Simply because I believe we developed, in submitting our proposal for the grant, we developed what seemed to be a very worthwhile program. Mm-hmm. They originally picked 10 states in the country to do the program in, and 3 cities from each of those 10 states. The 10 states that they picked were the 10 states that unfortunately suffered the worst fire loss per capita of the entire country, of which you know that Tennessee
is like, what, number 17? Or,
no, we're in the top 10 for the worst fire loss. As a matter of fact, in '86, we ranked somewhere between 3 and 5. I'm not sure exactly.
You're
either
right.
the 3rd worst or 5th worst. I'm not exactly sure which one we were, but
that's right.
Being that close to the worst is bad enough.
All right, Memphis is probably, well, it is the worst city as far as fire fatalities and fire loss in the state of Tennessee.
Right.
We have more fire fatalities than any other city in Tennessee.
Right, and the way they developed the grant, they wanted, first off, a large city of I believe over 100,000, then a medium-sized city over 25,000, and then a small city under 10,000. And in 1984, we were just under the 10,000 people limit, so that we were able to get the money to develop the program and
categorized by population.
Right.
You're also the president this year of the Tennessee Public Fire Educators Association, I believe, and I know this is a lot of work involved, and I know it's a new association too. This is our, was it second or third year?
Well, the association is now 18 months old.
Yeah, I got a little ahead there. Mm-hmm. This is you're the second president.
I'm the 3rd president
since the beginning of it.
Right. Your boss, Jack Bacon, served as our very first year president, and was able to get it organized, get the involvement from all across the state, and then on a rotating basis, we tried to move it around to the presidency to different parts of the state so that we could involve every area of the state. As we mentioned earlier, Tennessee is one of the worst states in the country for fire loss per capita. And I was really excited when we first started talking about organizing the Tennessee Public Fire Educators Association, because in a lot of the meetings that I was going to all across the state, we noticed that there was a real need for getting out information to other fire departments across the state on how to do public education.
That's right. In the
There's
past,
a real void there that, if you remember back in 1971 when America Burning, the national report came out, one of the things that they kept stressing was need to involve public education, need to inform the public on what causes fires. And I believe, my own personal belief is that people know what causes fires. They just, like we all do, get a little lax from time to time, and I like to think of it, instead of public education, as public reminders of what causes these fires and how to prevent them from happening. And organizing the state association, we were able to get to the other fire departments of ideas, things that people were doing in different parts of the country, get those ideas and use them. As you know, public educators are the world's worst to beg, borrow, and steal anything that we can get, and any ideas that we can get. And we share those ideas a lot, and that's what this association has served for. I know before we organized, some of the people that we talked to in some of the meetings, and you remember some of these people, their idea of public fire education was every October during Fire Prevention Week, carry that fire truck down to the school, let the kids climb on it, carry it back and wash it. That's public education.
One week a year.
That's right.
If more time went into fire prevention all year long, as much as we do in that 1 week, I'm sure that we would have a lot less fire fatalities and fire loss in the United States, and especially here in Tennessee, where we really need it, and in Memphis.
That's true. And I believe that in the very near future, everybody's going to see a slow change in the way the fire service deals with fire. As you know, historically, fire service has been reactive. They sit around, the firemen are hired to sit at the firehouse and wait for that fire to come in. The only problem is once the fire is there, once the fire is called in, most of the times it's too late to deal with the real problem.
The fire prevention is out, right.
Where if people would call in when they even think there may be a problem, when they even smell the slightest hint of smoke, just for the fire trucks to come by and the men to check and see if there is a problem. It doesn't cost a penny more out of their tax dollars or anything for that equipment to drive down the street and check it as it does for it to sit there in the engine house and wait for the flames to appear.
That's right.
And if we could get people to realize those problems and get the fire department there before the problem is really severe, we could cut down tremendously on the fire loss in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, and another, while we talk about that, there's a lot of people that think having a smoke detector will save their life. All a smoke detector will do is wake you up, and if you don't know what to do after you wake up, then that's where the fire prevention and public fire education comes in. And I know we were talking about in the last 18 months, I've seen a big change in public fire education. A little more emphasis is being put on it than in the past, because at one time, well, it still is this way. There's 90% of the budget goes for fire suppression and approximately 10% for fire prevention. And fire prevention is going to have a little bit more of the budget for it to be really effective.
That's true. The people, as I've mentioned earlier, the people sitting at the engine house serve a specific purpose, and we're always going to have people sitting at the engine house. There's only so many fires that we can prevent, but the more fires that we can prevent and the more involved that the fire service becomes in the community and with the people in their area of response, the more involved they become with their area, the more likely these people are to contact the fire department when they even think they might have a problem.
Yeah, that's true. Don't wait until the fire gets to the point where it's growing it multiplies, what, 50 times every 3 minutes, and every second counts. Also, in this, out in Collierville, I know that you've been active since, well, a good while. I know, was it 84, was it 1984 when you made, some high school students made a tape, fire prevention tape?
That's right. One of the
We want to lead into that. Can you kind of tell the audience, and maybe set it up, and we want to show this because these high school students did it all, right?
Okay. Yeah, this film was put together by the Collierville High School students in 1984. They had a communications class, and we just gave them the basic idea of what we wanted and the ideas that we wanted to present. And they wrote the script and put it together, told us what they wanted to do, and we went with it from there. From there, they submitted it for national competition for high school students, and it did win a National Golden Award for safety ideas.
All right, we're going to watch the tape now.
Hi, I'm Edith Ann, and I'm 6 years old. I like my name, Edith. It's a special name. It also stands for a plan to help give us kids out of the house in case of a fire. Here's my friend the fireman to tell you about it.
If you were to have a fire in your home tonight, you may only have a few seconds to get out of the house safely. Chances are that you'll have at least 3 serious fires in your life. So we should all do certain things to be sure that our whole family is able to get out of the house safely. The first thing that we can do is install smoke detectors. A smoke detector can warn you of a fire while it is still very small, small enough that you and the whole family can get out of the house. If you do have a smoke detector, ask your parents to check it once in a while. Simply pushing the button only tests the battery to be sure that it's working. So it's always a good idea to have your parents test it with a match. It is also a safe idea to sleep at night with your bedroom door closed. In a fire, the smoke will hurt you long before the fire itself ever reaches you, and a closed door will help keep the smoke out longer, giving you a better chance to get out safely. Something else that we all need to do is plan escape routes using a floor plan of our house. Make a drawing of your home, including all the rooms and the windows and every doorway. Then mark 2 exits from each room. The regular doorway out and an emergency exit in case the regular doorway is blocked by heat or smoke. Then get the whole family together to talk about the regular and emergency exits and decide on a meeting place outside, such as a tree or the end of the driveway. Be sure that everyone in the family knows where the meeting place is. Because if you go to the backyard and your parents go to the front yard, they won't know that you're out of the house safely and may try to go back in the house to get you out. When everybody knows what to do, have a drill in the home, because practicing is the best way to learn your escape routes, and be sure that they do work.
been worse. But this family knew what to do in the event of a fire. They had practiced the EDIT program before. If there'd been a fire in your house tonight, would you and your family know what to do?
When you have a drill, and if you have a fire, be sure to follow these escape rules. Number 1, stay low, crawl. In a fire, smoke and heat rise, and cool, fresh air can be found at the floor. If you're in bed, roll out of bed and crawl to the door. Number 2, check the door. First, feel the door. Reach as high as you can. If it's hot, use your emergency exit. If it's not hot, open the door carefully. If smoke comes in, close it quickly. Number 3, warn the others. Yell fire, fire, fire 3 times as loud as you can while you're still at the door. Number 4, get out. Use your regular route if it's safe. If the emergency route is through a window and you can't open it, use something heavy to break it, but be sure that all of the glass is gone before going through it. Do not stop to take anything with you. Number 5, meet the family. Call the fire department from next door, but don't go back inside the house for any reason. Remember, the 5 escape rules are: 1, stay low, crawl. Number 2, check the door. Number 3, warn others. Number 4, get out. And number 5, meet the family. Remember, if you have a fire, or even think that you might have a fire, leave the house quickly and call the fire department. But never, never try to hide from fire.
They did a good job on that.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I'll be really proud of that. Yeah, I hope they were watching.
Well, we've used it quite often in different programs that we've done, showing some of the adult groups some of the things that we had going on through the public education program, and I've also shown it in different associations across the fire service associations that I'm involved with across the state.
This was made, what you said, in '84?
In 1984. That's right.
And they did win an award for it.
That's right. Won a Golden Award for, I don't remember all the details on it, but it was a national award, Golden Award for particular merit in working with the local fire department, local government in presenting a safety program.
Yeah, we've had a lot of help from high schools here in Memphis. I know. I think it was last year at Southside High School we got some of the students over there to do a fire prevention type rap tape that we use in Pluggy. I guess everybody has or knows who Pluggy is, and we use them in there, and it's great too. Those kids did a good job on it. Getting back and talking about the Tennessee Public Fire Education Association again, what are some of the things that's going on now? Well, the very first thing that I did as president was assign several committees to do some work for the association, to set aside at least, I ask every member in the association to set aside at least 1 hour each week to consider fighting the fire problem in the state of Tennessee. One of the committees that we developed and have working at this time is a committee working on